Okay, it's Monday the 21st, and we are doing two videos today. This one is about interval notation and how it differs from set notation. So, if I gave you something like this, x is greater than, let's say, 7. If we were going to write that in set notation, all that means is you start at 7. Now here's a number line. So here's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And so 7's right here, and we're going to the right. Now remember that this means an open circle. That means you can't actually use 7. So 7's not part of the answer. If I was saying what numbers fit in here, you'd say 7.1, 7.2, 8, 9, 10. All those numbers are greater than 7. But you can't use 7. 7's not one of the answers. So when you write it in interval notation, you have to say, just like this, this is saying all the numbers bigger than 7. This says the smallest number and the biggest number. That's the way it works. It's always the small number on the left, big number on the right. Always. Right? Well, nothing's bigger than positive infinity. So when we're going all the way, if we're over here and we're saying all the numbers greater than 7, that's what this says. So if I wanted to say greater than or equal to 7, then I would have to use a bracket instead of a parentheses. So this one is that. But this guy would be a bracket on 7 and then all the way to infinity. So see, the difference between this one and this one is 7 is allowed here. So this would be a dot there and then everything to the right. That's what this one is. Okay? So less than is the same kind of deal. If I wanted to go less than 7, then I would have to say, remember, have to have the small number on the left and the large number on the right. Well, there's nothing smaller than negative infinity, so negative infinity has to be on the left, and then 7's on the right. So if I'm saying all the numbers smaller than 7, then I would have this. Obviously, if I wanted it to be equal to, then I'd have to have a bracket with the 7 right next to it. Right? This would say that. So this one means this one. And the trick is where you put the infinity. You know, if you're going up, the infinity is on the right. If you're going down, the infinity is on the left. Makes sense, eh? All right. What if I had something in between numbers? Say I was graphing values that were, here's my number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I went from 0 to 5 and everything in between. That's what this says, right? 0 to 5, everything in between. They're not solid dots, so you can't use the equal sign, right? Well, if I was doing interval notation, this would just be 0 and this would be 5. Sort of looks like an ordered pair, except we're talking about what numbers are involved here. Every number is in between. That's what this is saying. So 0.5, 2.1, 4.999, all those values are involved. Okay? So if there was a, say for example, it had an equal sign there and not here, well then that would be a bracket on the 0 and then a parentheses on the 5. So it's important for me to be able to tell your brackets from your parentheses. So if everything you draw looks the same, if your brackets and parentheses look the same, then you're going to miss some problems on the test, because if I can't tell the difference, then we got problems, right? Okay, so there's one other thing that could happen, And that is, we could have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I could have something starting here, going here, and something going here to there, right? So this is 3, and that's 0. That's -3, right? So, if I was doing this, I would have to have two groups. You know, if I was writing the set notation, that would be all the numbers smaller than 0, or all the numbers greater than or equal to 3. That's what that says in set notation. But we're trying to write it in interval notation. So, less than 0 means, remember, the smallest number and then the largest number. Right? Those are both parentheses. Then the smallest number and the largest number, those are both, this one's a bracket and that one's not. And then instead of writing the word or, we write the union. Okay, so that means everything in this group along with everything in that group. That's what this is saying. Right? That is a quick trip through interval notation. So, see you on the next video.